Mysterious reactions. Okay, let me put
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show, The Mysterious Reactions of Our Body. When we sneeze or yawn and our stomach grows, we tell ourselves that our bodies are really behaving as mysterious as uncontrollable. But can we permanently control our body? The answer is no. When you feel like sneezing, coughing, or yawning, it's impossible to prevent this phenomenon. But then, why and what are they used for exactly? What makes our stomach grow that sometimes puts us in a little awkward situation? Decryption of this mysterious phenomena in this report. An intruder like pollen is trying to get into your nose? Don't panic. The body has cleaned everything. Sneezing will clean itself. But then, why do we sneeze? Explanations with Madeleine Shaw, our pulmonologist.
So when we inhale an irritant substance, like for example dust, we have a stimulation of a number of sensors located in the nasal mucosa. Logically, those sensors start a reflex mechanism, which is the sneeze. This sneeze is here to clean our nose. And the role of our nostrils is to filter the air that we breathe, so the dust stays in our nose hair, and sensors inside the nose will then detect unwanted particles. When an irritant product like pepper or pollen is intercepted, these sensors send the signal to the brain, which then detects um, the unwanted particles and orders their evacuation. But sometimes a single sneeze is not enough to eject the irritant. So for more efficiency, our nose decides to sneeze several times in a row, like Dumbo here, as we can see.
And our body has another similar reflex, the cough. But then, why do we cough?
So this mechanism cleans our bronchi and not our nose, but in a way, it's triggered by the same causes. Irritation of the bronchial mucosa leads to cough, which is in fact a forced exhalation. To better understand, let's take a look at the picture. What we can see in red are our bronchi. They measure 1 centimeter in diameter, and this is where the air we breathe is handled. For example, when you inhale tobacco smoke, the chemicals inside irritate the mucous membrane of the bronchi, which contract to evacuate the unwanted particles, and this is what causes the cough.
Thank you very much for those explanations. Now, let's take a look to another remarkable reflex, the yawn. Humans yawn on average between 5 and 10 times a day. But then, why do we cough? We asked Marie Couturier, the yawning specialist.
Hello. So it's a stimulation of vigilance. This full muscular contraction, probably as a written on the nuclei of the awakening of the brainstem. In other words, when we yawn, we stimulate a region of the brain responsible for vigilance. Yawning would therefore help to give tonus to our brain, but that's not all. By relaxing our jaw, yawning would also reduce stress. Very often, great athletes yawn before the event. Yawning is a reaction that all living beings have in common, human beings, fetuses, but also animals, except for one, the giraffe. Um, the, the giraffe, but this remains a mystery for science.
And you may have noticed that the yawn seems infectious. When we see someone yawning, we also want to yawn. And so, how can you explain it?
Yes. There are many emotions that are contagious. Laughter is contagious. Itching is contagious. So when you see someone scratching, it makes you want to scratch. In fact, it depends on the same brain structures that we activate in a task called empathy, which is understanding other person's emotion. 75% of humans would be sensitive to yawning because they are gifted with empathy, which means that they can read um, other people's emotions and put themselves in their place. Among the animals, only primates and some dogs respond to the yawning of others because they too feel empathy for their congenier and even for their owner.
Well, thank you very much for those explanations. And now let's move on to another sometimes embarrassing reflex, gurgling. This funny sound comes from our stomach, but why? Answer with our gastroenterologist, Carol Febey.
Thank you, Celia. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. In fact, gurgling comes from the gastrointestinal system. As a reminder, the food taken through the mouth is then transformed into enzymes in order to extract nutrients, and the waste is expelled as feces. Obviously, during digestion, the food bowl doesn't move without any help. The phenomenon is called peristalsis and involves contraction of smooth muscle. The action of peristalsis looks like a wave passing through the muscle, having the effect of decreasing the diameter of the digestive tract and help the food bowl to move forward. During this movement of contraction, there is some noise related to the liquid phase of this content, similar to what would happen in a sink bottom. Our digestive system never takes a break. In fact, it constantly drains our stomach and intestines to prepare us for the next meal.
Okay, so what you're saying is that our belly grows all the time, even if we can't hear it. But then, why does it scream so loudly when we are hungry?
It's a good question, because most of the time we are away from the last meal, and it is precisely the moment when the digestive motor skills are the strongest, like in a bathtub but unteased. This is at the end that the noise is the strongest. Another explanation is that when the stomach is empty, it acts like a sound box, like a cave. The sound of the gurgling is then multiplied.
Okay, then we have to see another reflex, which is often linked to the meal, hiccups. But where does this funny noise come from?
So if you have a dilatation of the stomach, it will lead to a stimulation of the phrenic nerves. When you eat too fast, you swallow a lot of air. As a consequence, your stomach swells and stimulates the phrenic nerves. This nerve controls the diaphragm and allows the lung to function. If you swallow, it will too much air. The diaphragm is then taken with involuntary spasms.
Okay, well, thank you for those explanations. And if you think you can stop it by scaring yourself, by drinking water, or by holding your breath, well, know that these remedies from grandmothers has never been scientifically proven. Coughing, sneezing, yawning, gurgling, and having hiccups, our bodies are full of uncontrollable reactions, and now you know why. This is the end of our show. Thanks for following us. You want to know why we blink, or even why we have dark circles under our eyes? Then We will see you next Tuesday to find out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you very much, girls.